Morning and welcome to another of my videos. It's January, Sunday morning. Just thought I'd get in the garden whilst the weather's okay, do a little bit of pruning and demonstrate how to do something for you. Today I thought I'd tackle the Hydrangea Paniculata Limelight. Always wants to be done this time of year, ready for spring. It's a great shrub, getting to 6 to 8 feet depending on how you leave it to grow. But if you prune it now, it'll make good strong structure and it always flowers on fresh growth, so you'll get a better show in the summer. So that plant there, believe it or not, is Hydrangea Paniculata Limelight. It's a summer flowering shrub. It makes a fantastic show, great in sort of, well, it'll tolerate from sun through to fairly deep shade. As with all hydrangeas, requires moisture, but it's not so worried about an acidic soil in order to thrive. So this hydrangea I planted about 2 years ago. I bought it from my local garden centre. Gave it a small trim last year just to improve its structure, but as you can see with well, the summer autumn growth, it's gone a little bit wayward, so we're going to try and sort that out a little bit for this year and improve the amount of fresh stems that have flower on for the summer. So it's always a good idea just to spend a bit of time actually looking at the plant in question that you're going to do some pruning on. First off, you're wanting to look for what they call the 3 Ds, dead, diseased or dying. If you've got any of those, then that's the limbs and stems that you want to start with by removing. If you haven't got any dead, disease or dying matter, then start looking at where you've got cross branches or branches that are going to actually come through the middle of the plant. It's those that you want to remove. By removing the crossing stems, you open up the centre of the plant. This allows for better air circulation, also allows for more sunlight penetration to the middle of the plant, which will reduce the amount of pests and disease that you'll find as the season progresses and as the plants grow. So before you do any pruning, it's important that you've got a nice pair of sharp secateurs. These are my trusty Felcos. You want to make sure that they're clean. Although these look a little bit rusty, I do clean them between each different sets of pruning. Either use J's fluid or a weakened bleach. That way you're ensuring that you're not transferring any pests and diseases from plant to plant, which will lead to problems later down the line. What we're looking to do to start with is to remove any of the dead, disease, dying matter, followed by any of this sort of spindly growth, as that won't contribute to overall strength of the plant. Indeed, if you actually get any flowers forming, like we can see here from last year, then they will indeed pull the branches down and can lead to something like that, which is damage, which is not going to promote the plant's vigour long term. So pruning one-handed is not ideal, but I'll give it a go. So to start with, what we're looking for is the bud formation on the actual stem. And where you're looking to is you'll prune just above that bud there, so that way the buds will then take over and they will produce the shoot for this season. So we're working our way down, so start with dead, disease, dying, followed by any spindly growth, and we'll remove that. Again, where this is angled downwards, it's not going to contribute to overall growth, so we'll remove that. See, we've got damaged stem here. So we don't really want to prune down to that point, but we're looking for a next clean set of buds that are forming, which are just down here. Now it keeps it nice and tight, and really we're looking to go quite hard on the plant. Something like a hydrangea, you can prune down pretty hard. I tend to look for about 18 inches 2 foot on the Hydrangea Paniculata. That way you're going to get a good show in the summer. Okay, so I'll try and do this and see how we get on. So I'll remove that centerpiece there, because ultimately that will end up coming up and competing too much into the central space. This piece again, it's hanging down, it offers absolutely no function for the plant. Normally I would remove this, but I think as it's still quite a young plant, I'll just I'll maintain some of the shape and see what we're left with. So this section here, where you've got a slight change in coloration, it's not the best health. Likewise with that, it's been dying. So it's not ideal. I mean, the worst case scenario is that you prune back a stem that you shouldn't have, and then it has to wait another season or two to regrow. It's not going to be too detrimental. Okay, so that's all the base work is all done. So we're just sort of left with these tall stems here, and whilst you think, well, they are nice and sturdy, they'll be great for holding flower. What we want to do is to encourage some now bushing out across the plant. The way to do that is to make a prune, so we will prune to something around that, and that way you'll end up with the buds there will then re-sprout to form multiple stems. It will, by cutting back the stems, you reduce what's called apical dominance, which is basically where the stem just continues to shoot up. So you break that, and that will encourage your side shooting, which in turn will result in a better, more full plant, which will hold more flower ultimately, which is what we want. So that is the end of the pruning there. I mean, it's not looking too bad. Having said I would keep this little stem here, now looking at it, I'm going to whip that off, as really it doesn't look very attractive. And then we'll see how the season progresses. Hopefully it'll make some more stronger growth, and then we can remove some of the other bits as we go along. So that's the end of the basic tutorial on how to prune your Hydrangea Paniculata. What I'll do in the description is make a list of a few other plants that you should think about doing your pruning on this time of year, and then at least you're in the garden making a start.